Hello, I'm Neil Quigley once again back with you. I have, thanks to my gramp, had an interest in horse racing for many years. I lived with my nan and gramp for a few years when I was a child, and I learnt two things off my gramp. Firstly, even into his 70s, he was keen on exercise and always had a morning exercise routine, which included sit-ups. He installed this into me, the importance of keeping in shape and keeping in trim, and I have had a very good exercise work ethic ever since. That's down to him. Also, he used to have a bet every single day and go through the papers and select horses. It seemed like in every single race that was happening across the UK. I have kind of inherited his love for horse racing and having the odd flutter as well. This led me on to a few years ago as I got more and more interested in horse racing. I wanted the opportunity to be involved with a racehorse, but racehorses and owning them is actually a very expensive business, particularly if you want to do it by yourself or in a small group of people. However, I then stumbled across this company called Owners Group who offer you the chance to have shares in their horses. They have lots and lots of horses. Each horse tends to have between 2,000 and 5,000 shares, and you can buy as many shares as you like in each horse that you fancy. They're not too expensive, each of the shares you buy for the horses. I initially got a horse called Stage Star. I bought two shares in him initially when he was just 2 years old and had just gone to start training with Paul Nicholls. They don't normally start running racehorses until they are 3, and weirdly, every single racehorse that is born, their birthday is the 1st of January. So once it hits the 1st of January, regardless of when they were born in the previous 11 months, they will become a year older in horse racing terms. Obviously, when I invested in him, and it was the name Stage Star that made me go for him, I had to be patient, I had to wait, and while I was waiting, I saw another horse come up called Force 10. Now, I always wanted to wear number 10 whenever I played football. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, used the Force, so I thought Force 10 was something I had to get involved with. So I then bought a share in that horse. As part of the Owners Group package and having a share, they offer you the chance to go and do stable visits and see your horses at their stables with the trainers. Force 10, like Stage Star, was also a horse trained by Paul Nicholls, so I was lucky enough to go on a stable visit up to Paul Nicholls' yard in Ditchit and have a look round. Saw Force 10 for the first time, had my photo taken with him, and also had my photo taken with the great Paul Nicholls as well, which was fantastic. Force 10 got out on a race course quicker than Stage Star. He was just a little bit older. He was running down in Newbury in his very first race, and I managed to get along to that. National Hunt horses often start off for their first race in something called a bumper, which is basically a flat race for National Hunt horses who usually jump over hurdles or over bigger fences. That was the race that Force 10 was involved in Newbury. Went down on my own to watch that race. It was amazing to see him paraded round the paddock beforehand and then watch him in action live on the course. Unfortunately, he did not fare that well. First time on a racetrack, needed some time to adjust, but I did get to speak to and get a picture with Harry Cobden, who was the jockey on that day. So I followed the career closely of Force 10. Meantime, Stage Star is slowly building himself up and getting a bit older and getting a bit fitter. He turned into an amazing horse. Once again, I was lucky enough to go and see him a couple of times. Owners Group have their own facility called EquiPrep, where the horses can recover from any injury. They'll go there for their summer holidays when they have a bit of a break from training, and ultimately when they retire from horse racing, they'll go there until hopefully they're rehomed, or if that's not possible, they'll stay at EquiPrep for the rest of their life. I went there and that was the first time I got to meet Stage Star. They give you a great tour of the amazing facilities there and answer all your questions. It's really great if you're interested in learning a bit more about horse racing, how it works behind the scenes. I found it completely fascinating, absolutely loved it. I got my picture with Stage Star on that day. He then eventually got out on the racecourse and started doing quite well. He won some nice races in his first couple of seasons. The highlight for him was him winning a race at the Cheltenham Festival. Sadly, I didn't manage to be there on the year he did win that race at the festival, but I watched it on TV, and it was just a fantastic feeling to see him and Harry Cobden get over the line first. The reception he got when he came into the winner's enclosure that day was amazing. He's such a great horse with such an amazing temperament. About a year after that huge victory, I managed through Owners Group to get myself on another stable tour of Paul Nicholls' stables. What happens is they parade a few of the horses for you in the courtyard. Stage Star was one of the horses we got to see take around. He was looking fantastic. And then they do offer you the chance to go around the stables and have a look at all the horses and have your picture taken with them. I obviously wanted my picture taken with my old mate Stage Star. As I was there this time with my girlfriend, she managed to take the photo for me. Previously, my only shot with him was a selfie that I took myself. So I went and stood, because you're not supposed to touch the horses or get too close, because you don't want to spread any diseases that could get around the yard. I'm very respectful of that, obviously. So I stood to one side of Stage Star's stable door with his head on the other. Now I'm facing the camera. As that's happening, unbeknownst to me, he's edging closer and closer until basically he's nuzzling my neck. Luckily for me, my other half is a fantastic photographer, and she got some amazing photos of that day, which I will actually cherish. From there, he went on to have another very decent win. Unfortunately, his form tailed off a little bit towards the end of last season, but we were all optimistic and excited for what could happen for this coming season. And then unfortunately, in training for the new season, he had a bit of an incident and damaged his leg quite badly. Perfectly fine that he would continue and recover, but it was thought he would need a year out to recover from the injury, and it would be unfair on him after a year out to return him to training and try and get him fit enough to compete at the level he was competing at before. So it was decided that he'll be retired, which has happened, and he is currently recovering from his leg injury and doing really well at Equiprep. I hope to maybe get a trip down there next time they organise a visit to go and see him again and just check he's okay, and hopefully get another nice photo with him as well. I would say, if you do, like me, like your horse racing and would like to get a bit more involved at a very reasonable price, I do highly recommend the Owners Group. Not only do they organise these visits so you see the horses in training, they give you a weekly email with updates on your horse and all the details from it, plus regular videos of your horse. They also let you know every time the horse has been declared to run in a race. And every time an Owners Group horse runs in a race, if you are one of the shareholders, you can enter a ballot to try and get owners passes so you can go in the parade ring and go and be part of the owners team for that horse for that day. I've not managed that yet, but one day I would love to experience that. I've currently got a new horse called It's Hard to Know in training with Ben Paulin. That's my only horse in my Owners Group stable currently. He also is recovering from a slight injury, but he's now getting towards being back in training. So hopefully we might get a run out of him either towards the end of this season or possibly early next season. But I still get the weekly emails. I'm still up to date with everything he's up to. And as someone who likes their horse racing and does always try to get to Royal Ascot, the Aintree Festival and the Cheltenham Festival, plus as many other races as I can manage throughout the year, I find it a lot of fun.